Okay, now this is better. We have to learn with this new computer. I'm so used to doing it on my tablet or my phone. All right, let's start. Let's proceed.
Thank you, my lady. My lady, this is the matter of the SIU versus Crocia, also known as Giants Creative and Events. Yes. And it's a default judgment application.
Oh, no, the sound is bad. Okay, we're just battling with the sound.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes. Okay. Much better.
Turned up our volume.
Yes.
So my lady, this is a default application, default judgment application, in that it was directed by Judge Mudiba in the judicial case management minutes to come before this court on a default judgment or unopposed basis, as no plea has been filed by the respondents. Even in their answering affidavit, it's a bare denial and no defense has been raised in terms thereof. My lady, I'm not going to deal with the preliminary points because, as we stated, this matter is now currently unopposed. So the initially preliminary points as authority to depose and the extension of the term of the proclamation has now fallen away.
Yes, I understood that.
Okay. Then, my lady, I turn to page 056-115 in case lines. That is the forensic accountant who did a financial analysis on the amount that we are claiming. He is online, and my lady, I beg leave to call him and that he might be sworn in.
I think just to place on record that there was a representative for the defendant this morning.
Yes,
but clearly, you know, he was not really even supposed to be there because there was no basis on which he was there. There's no plea. Yes. And I think he realized that as well. And his only issue was that there might have been some
undercharge, a counterclaim.
Yeah. There might have been a counterclaim, which I pointed out to him he didn't institute. So we pretty much left with what the applicant is claiming in this matter. And of course, you had said that the original amount was reduced to 12 and then subsequently reduced to a further something like 10 something. So basically, and I'm just a bit concerned because there has been these reductions, and that is why I said I needed some evidence and an explanation as to the calculations, and that's why we need the viva voce evidence.
Not a problem, my lady. That's why we've decided to call the forensic accountant, who is able to testify to his analysis of what he had done in coming to the amount of 12 million initially. Yes. My lady, that's Mr. Brendan Daniels.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Daniels. May I have your full names, please?
Brendan Darrell Daniels.
Do you have any objections to taking the oath?
No, I do not.
Do you swear that what you're about to tell this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If you do, say so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. It's your witness, ma'am.
Thank you, my lady. Mr. Daniels, you've deposed to an affidavit in this matter, and that you will find on page 056-115, my lady, on case lines. Mr. Daniels, can you please tell us what is your education and your experience in this matter?
Okay, I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I have been registered as a chartered accountant since the year 2000, so I've been practicing chartered accountancy for about 23 years now. I started working in forensic accounting field in around about June, July 2001. So I've been doing forensic accounting for almost 22 years, and I worked previously. I started my forensic accounting career at the Auditor General, where I worked for about a year and a half doing forensic accounting. I then joined the Scorpions in end of 2002. and I worked there until they closed in 2009, doing forensic accounting work there. I was the forensic accountant for the region, the Eastern Cape region, and I then moved to the SIU around September, October 2009, and I've been doing forensic accounting work there ever since. And I'm now currently a principal forensic accountant. I'm in charge of the region, and I'm acting in charge of the whole forensic accounting unit in the SIU.
Thank you. And you also have an HDIP tax.
Yes, I have HDIP tax as well. Sorry about that. Yes.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Mr. Daniels, how did you get involved in the Crocia events matter?
Sunette Olifield, one of our managers, and I think she's in Pretoria office, contacted me about this matter. It was actually during lockdown. It was my lockdown case, as it were, that because I actually worked on this at home. We were given this matter, and she called me and gave me these documents to investigate.
Okay, and you did this in terms of the proclamation, am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. What documentation were you provided when doing your forensic analysis?
Okay, I was provided with invoices from Crocia, as well as the quotations for the bid, which we either refer to as a quotation or the bid document, which is one and the same thing. They start at the next number is 056180, and it goes all the way through till 056237. That's the reference numbers. So those are for the 3 funerals. That's for Zola Squia, for Willie Mandela and Billy Medisa funerals. Those are all the invoices and the bid documents or quotes respectively. And those are the documents which I worked off of.
Thank you so much. And could you explain to the court what was your methodology in doing your forensic analysis?
Okay, so basically what we did is we got all of the invoices and the bid documents captured. Okay, so we had to work on it electronically. So we captured all of those documentation, and I then went per funeral, and I compared the prices and the quantities per the bid document versus the prices and quantities appearing on the invoices, and I then noted discrepancies between the two.
Okay. Were there any other documents provided that had a change or deviation in the bid document?
Not that I can remember, because I'm just trying to offhand remember. I don't seem to remember that. I just remember having the one bid document which I received, and I then compared against the invoice.
No, I can put it on record. There was okay. No any deviation requested from quotation to the invoice. And then can you just take us through one funeral, just to give this court comfort in how you did your financial analysis? I know it would be the same for all 3. Yes. So if you could just take us through one funeral and do that analysis, then we can get an understanding of how you came up with the amounts you did. Okay.
We can start. I suppose they're all the same. So we can start with the BD1, which is the Zola Squia funeral. So it's BD1 now. It's a bit difficult for me to see. Yeah, I can get you the numbers now quickly.
It's on 056-119.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So that is BD1. Okay. Now what that is a capturing of the bid document or the quotation. So what they did is they quoted per item. They didn't quote in total for a funeral. What they did was they quoted for each of the items that is possibly used in a funeral. So if you look there, it says a good quality carpet tile, good quality interlock rubber flooring, good quality wooden flooring, etc. And so they go down the list, and there's a very long list of all the items which they can possibly provide for a funeral. Now, obviously, each funeral is unique. And
sorry.
Yes, my lady.
I'm having a little problem with the sound.
Oh
So
dear.
I'm not, yeah, it's sort of.
Should I
Let
take
me put my
video
sound
off?
up a little bit. Let me just put up my sound a bit. Let's
Yeah.
see if you can hear
Okay.
me better. How does that
It's
sound?
it's not so much the volume as opposed
Yeah.
to the crackling, but let's try. Let's go
Okay.
on.
Okay. Okay, so what you see there on there's a whole long list of all the possible items. There's actually 93 items which they can possibly provide for a funeral. Now each funeral is unique. We know that Winnie Mandela's funeral was a massive funeral in comparison. So a lot more stuff would be provided, for example, for her funeral versus one of the other funerals. So it was never a bid which was cast in stone. It was a bid based on these certain items, and they had to then basically select how many of each would be needed. So, for example, a PA system might need a 5,000 person PA system in one event, and in another event, only a 1,000 person PA system. So that's obviously what was requested at the time. But they provided these quotations so that it could be flexible enough to cater for either a very large funeral or a smaller one. Like the Winnie Mandela had multiple venues, etc., where they had to set up, and the others they didn't have that kind of thing. So
explain this flexible amount when you talk about they've catered for flexibility. How would they have done that?
You see, they didn't. What they did is they never set a standard price for a funeral. What they
Yes.
did was they set and I think that was a problem maybe in the way they evaluated the bidding and whatever, but that's another conversation. But what they did was they said, we're going to quote for all the various things which we can. Have we lost my lady? Is she still there?
Have
we lost her?
I don't know.
Because she just disappeared off my screen. I don't know if I've lost her. Have I lost her?
No, she's not there anymore.
No, she's not.
Let's just wait for her. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just wait for her to come back on. I'm sorry, the judge got disconnected.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just get her connected. Okay.
Okay. You're back online.
You're back online? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me carry on then.
Sure.
Okay. So what we've got is they provided a flexible quote so that they would cover all possibilities, like large tables, small tables, like I say, large PA systems, small PA systems, large aircon systems, or small aircon systems, large generators, small generators. So depending on what the venue required and the number of people attending at the various venues, they could supply whatever kind of a system is needed, either a large setup or a small setup, basically. So many number of flowers, centerpieces, all that. So it was made to be flexible.
For instance, if they change their venue to a stadium,
yes,
then won't the cost be more?
Yes.
So, then how would you be able to establish whether they've overcharged or the charges were justified?
Okay, so what we did is we then compared on their standard price. So what they basically, this is what we call a standard price in accounting. Their bid document is what I would call the standard price. They would set a standard price for various items. So for example, under the air conditioners, they've got a 60,000 BTU air conditioner, which is priced at 3,200. Now that's for a fairly large venue. Then they've got an 8,000 BTU air conditioner, which is for a smaller venue, and that's only priced at 1,300. So what they would do is they would decide, is this a large venue? Yes. Okay, then we need a 60,000 BTU air conditioner, and the standard price would then be 3,200 rand. but maybe we're in a small venue and we only need a 8,000 BTU air conditioner unit, and then we're only going to charge 1,300. So it depends which items were delivered to those venues. So a certain number of chairs were delivered and they were then priced per chair, or certain number of tables were delivered and they priced per table. So it was flexible in that way. So what I did was I took the price per item, in other words, the price per particular chair or per number of tables or per type of air conditioner, and compared the price which is on the invoice versus the price which is on the bid document. And if the
Mr.
price,
Daniel,
yeah,
sorry, can I stop you there?
Yes.
When you said air conditioner, so that's on page 056-119,
Yes.
and it's from line item 20 onwards.
Yes. Yes,
they would
right.
quote for the different air conditioners, and they
Yes.
may not use all the air conditioners. They may choose an air conditioner that suits the room and the venue they are using. That's correct.
That's correct. Yes, that's
and
correct.
they've done that with all of that.
Yes.
Because I see they've also for there was a 200 kVA and a 300 kVA generator.
Yes.
They had different types of generators,
Yes.
and they could choose one of those types to suit the venue they were in.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. You may proceed.
Okay, so based on what they considered suitable for the venue, they then charged for that particular unit. So if they decided they needed a 60,000 BTU air conditioner, they would charge 3,200 Rand. Or if they needed an 8,000 unit, they would charge 1,300. And then obviously if they needed 2 units, it would be double the price. Now, the way I compared it was I said, okay, let's see what the invoice had on. If the invoice had an 8,000 BTU unit, then I would go to the original quotation and say, okay, they should be charging 1,300 per unit per day. So sometimes, like the Winnie Mandela thing was over multiple days, and then you would work out how many days they needed those aircon units. So you would then multiply out number of units, multiplied by number of days, multiplied by the quote price per unit, which in this case was a 1,300 Rand. And you would then compare to the actual price on the invoice. So maybe the invoice they charged, I'm just giving an example here, 1,500 for that aircon, instead of charging 1,300 per day per aircon. So then the difference would be the 200 Rand, the 1,300 Rand, less the 1,500 Rand, which they're charging actually on the invoice, which would be 200 Rand, times the number of units. Maybe there were 2 units in the building. So it's 2 times the 200 Rand, times maybe if it's 3 days, times 3 days. So it's 2 times 3 times the 200 Rand. And that then works out the overcharge on an 8,000 BTU air conditioner. So that formula and that principle was then applied to each item which appeared on the invoice. Now the invoice is then on BD2, which is, that's 56,122. It starts on 56,122. Okay, and that's where I did all the calculations. Okay, the first the highlighted.
Where did this invoice originate from?
This came from the company itself.
The company, okay.
Yeah, this is a capturing of the invoice which came from the company. Now all
and
the stuff.
And the company is Crocia.
Yes, that's correct. Crocia. Yes, that's correct. Now all the stuff you see at the top of the screen of that page, there's like highlighted, the top column or top row rather is highlighted in yellow. Okay.
Yes.
Now that is the invoice. That's all details which appear on the invoice. All the stuff that's in yellow, all the columns below the yellow.
I must be honest, mine is very, very unclear.
I've got it. Look, I've got it in. Let me just see if I can possibly share. I don't know if it's going to work because I'm working off 2 screens here. Let me just try and see if I can.
Blanks where the yellow lines appear.
Yeah. Well, the yellow lines are blank initially. Okay. That's just for me to highlight which is the invoice versus which is the bid. Okay. That is just to make it clear. Let me just see if I can share. Just hold on. Try and share. Wait, let me see. Oh yes. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Now let's see. Can you guys see what I'm seeing? I'm seeing Yes. Can you see that document?
Much better.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Okay,
much
yeah.
better.
Now you can see my little mouse moving around here.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
good.
can.
Okay, good. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you exactly how I worked it out. Okay, let's start. The marquee tent is a bit difficult, but I'll explain that to you. What we did in the cases of items where they didn't, for example, the tent size or draping or flooring, for example, they never gave exact sizes for those particular items. So like decking for the marquee, they have highlighting 300 square meters, draping 180 square meters, carpeting 280. That was easy enough because you can multiply that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Some other invoices, they didn't have it exactly like that. They didn't work out the square meters. So I had to sort of estimate the best guess as to the square meters of draping, etc., or carpeting that would be needed. Okay, based on the other sizes of the marquees, etc. Okay, so what we worked off of is the first half is the invoice. So we see the quantity. In other words, that's the number of units. Okay, so tablecloths, for example, there's 4 tablecloths or 4 rectangular tables. Okay, then the number of days, we see it as 7 days. Okay, so it's 4 times the 7 times the unit price, which is 55 Rand, which gives us the 1540. Okay. Just see here. Okay, then what I did was I then ran a check to see that those items were indeed correct and the calculation was correct, and that check was done on column J, which I'm highlighting now. That I just checked that the invoice was correctly calculated, which it was in, I think, almost 100% of the time. So I just ran a check sum in order to check that they did their own calculations, that they didn't mess up on their own calculations, which was fine, which is under this column over here, called check and amount. Okay. I then started the comparison. Okay. What we have got on the next column is the unit code. Now they had certain unique codes for their items.
Yeah.
And based on those codes, I extracted the same item and the same cost. Okay, that was extracted from this bid document. Okay, and it's based on these numbers here on the first column of BD1. That comes from there. That comes from those codes. Those are the unit codes which we made use of. Okay, that was then extracted and that was put over there. Okay, that was put over there, and then based on that, we extracted the unit price, okay, which was charged, and then worked out the difference. Okay, so a good example, okay, the air conditioner is there, the sound system. Let's just find a nice example here. Draping.
Sound system 23.
Yes, where is that now? In line 23.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we go. Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay, so based on the price, which was 19,000, okay, the unit price per the bid, times by the number of days, times by the 7, versus sorry, just have a look here. It's 140,000 was charged on the invoice, and I worked out that the amount of the bid should have been, if we based it on the bid value, it should have been 133,000. So they overcharged 7,000 Rand on that sound system.
So is that how you went through each?
Yes, that's correct. That's how I went through each transaction. I did the same principles I applied.
So I've been told that the amount reduced from 35 to 12 and now to 10. How is that? How did that happen?
You mean in terms of the total overall pay? Recovery. Okay, so if I go, let me just open. I'm just going to open on my screen here. I think it's on the Winnie Mandela one. Here we go. Yeah, yes, it's BD20. I'm not sure what that is in your numbers. This is BD20. Here's the original 12. Yeah, I'm highlighting it. Yeah, there's the 12 million. Okay, yeah, that was our original. That was our original claim.
Yes.
It is our original claim. I think that it was reduced to 10 because they took out this possible duplicates line. Yeah.
Okay.
That because what I'll tell you about the duplicates quickly.
Yes, that was my concern, and that's why I needed you to explain that.
Yeah. Now the duplicates. Here's a good example here on BD18. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got duplicates here. Now they've got setup and strike, but if you look here, you see how many times. That's like 10, 15 times or whatever of setup and strike. Now there should only be really one setup and strike. But there might be a setup and strike for each venue. So maybe there's 3 venues, you see, but there should only be 3 setup and strikes, but there shouldn't be. So we are unsure as to if that setup and strike should be once overall for all venues or if it should be per venue. But there should never be, if there's only 3 venues, you should never add 10 or 15 of them, you see. And the same with delivery and collection. If there's 3, there should only be 3 items. There shouldn't be like 10 of them. Yes. And that's why I said those are possibly duplicated items. So in
effect, how did you then credit them to reduce the amount of 12?
So we took away this 1.3 million there. That 1.3 million was taken off, and then I think that works out to the 10 million there.
Okay, so you gave them the benefit, in other words.
Yes.
Of those possible duplicated items.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Okay. So if were there any line items where they might have undercharged, and should that have not then been adjusted also?
There were. We didn't. The way we viewed it. Let me just see. I think it was taken into account. Let me just check.
Yes.
I just want to see how
that is one of the concerns that were raised, but even though, I shouldn't really take it into account because it's not in the form of any counterclaim or a plea. But
let me just see. Let me just. Okay, I'll tell you now. How we dealt with it. Sorry, this is 2 years ago.
Yes, I understand.
So I just need to check how I did the. I'll just. Okay. Let me tell you. Okay, I did take it into consideration. Let me show you here on this. Here's a good example. Yeah, this is BD4. Okay, so the total, and I'll double check it for you by giving you the same figure. There's that 3.807 million, right? Okay, which is the value we're claiming for Zola Square's funeral. Okay. Now, I go back here. There you see the 3.8 million, right? The same figure. Yeah. Okay, that's where I get that figure from. Yeah. Now, that figure is the overall, that's over and under charge, because you see here's a negative. You see there's a 4,000 negative there. Okay, so that's where they charged less than the bid. Yes. Okay, so that's included there, and I can tell you it was included by checking the next 2 figures as well. Here's the overcharges only on their own, which is 3.94 million, and then the undercharges is 137 million. Sorry, 100,000.
Yeah.
137,000, sorry. And then the net figure is the 3.8. So we definitely did give them the benefit of the doubt for the negatives, for the under amounts.
Okay. That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Mr. Daniels, can I just go back to your affidavit?
Yes.
Just to clear up on that aspect. So this will find, if you go to paragraph 8, 9, and 10 of your affidavit, it highlights each funeral, that of Modisa, that of Zola Square, and that of Mandela.
Yes, that's correct.
And the same methodology was done throughout.
Yes, it was.
Okay. And then when we come on your last page, you say, therefore, you are of the opinion in paragraph 12 that the amount of 12,075,277.34 should be reclaimed from Croatia in relation to the 3 funerals, because that takes into account the overcharging as well as the undercharging.
Yes, that's correct.
And is that your signature?
Yes, yes, that is.
My lady, that is all the questions.
I think that's pretty much, as long as he's confirmed the amounts.
Yes.
So we know that the amount is now changed to 10 something because he's removed the duplications as well.
Yes.
Okay.
My lady.
Thank you.
My lady,
Thank you, Mr. Daniels.
Thank you.
Mr. Daniels.
Thank you.
My lady, in that
Have you
case,
prepared an order?
we have prepared an order and we have uploaded it.
Okay.
We haven't. We will upload it. I think we've uploaded the one for 12 million, but we have prepared an order which we will upload to case lines now.
Okay, do that, and then I will read that and grant the judgment based on that order. So that is recorded.
Yes.
All right.
Do you want us to do this now while we're still on Teams, my lady?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
We'll do that now. Just give us 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Sorry, my lady, can I be excused?
Yes, of course. I should have said that. Thank you, Mr. Daniels.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
My lady, we've uploaded it under the draft orders, the 00 section. 000, sorry.
Oh, I see. Where would I see this? I'm not familiar with this.
On top of case lines, it's 000-12.
Oh, okay. Can we call him Paul? Sorry, I've got to call him Paul because we don't deal with case lines in Durban. We're still very backward.
on the paper.
Yeah, and so we do everything on paper because we don't even have a decent Wi-Fi system in Durban, which is really sad.
It is.
She says she's uploaded the order on case lines. I want to read it because I've got to give the judgment. I don't know how to access it. Is that the camera? No. All right, let me just ask you, the document that I have, it says, having read the documents filed of record and having heard counsel of the applicant, it is ordered that Crocia events, also known as Giant Creative and Events, defendant special plea is dismissed. That was already dismissed, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. That special plea was not dismissed. It just wasn't litigated on.
Okay, so you want me to formally dismiss it because they've never taken it further?
Yes, they didn't take it further.
Okay.
And then item number 2 is the overcharged of 10 million.
Yes.
And then the other one is to repay, item number 3.
Right.
And then item number 4 is the interest.
Yes.
And item number 5 is the costs. Because these include the interlocutory applications where the costs were reserved and where the respondents failed to appear at those hearing dates.
And the scale as between attorney and client?
And client, yes. That's what we're asking for, my lady.
Did you ask for that in your original order?
Yes, we did.
All right. Then I'll grant the order in terms of paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the document titled Draft Order.
Thank you, my lady.
Dated
18th of April.
18th of April. I don't see the date on the document, but it's
on the side, my lady.
Oh, is it on the side?
Yes, it says 18th of April 2020.
Oh, yes, on the top, right at the top. Yes. On the 18th of April 2023. Right. So the order that is granted is in terms of paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the draft order.
Thank you, my lady.
Okay. Thank you.
My lady.
I've been asked to ask you to send the draft order by email to
Yes.
Mr. Mpo. Yes.
Yes, we will send it in an email form so that you can sign.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my lady.
Thanks.
Thank you. As the court chooses.
See you again. Steve.